Welcome to Stress-Free IEP. You do not need to do it all alone. With your host, Frances Schefter, Principal of Schefter Law. You can get more details and catch prior episodes at www.schefterlaw.com. The Stress-Free IEP video podcast is also posted on YouTube and LinkedIn, and you can listen to episodes through Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and more. Now, here's the host of Stress-Free IEP, Frances Schefter.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Nope, we're on. Okay, hello. Sorry about that. It's using a new system, and I wasn't quite sure if we were on, but we are. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. So today's special guest, I'm really excited because we have not had somebody on the show before that does this, is Mindy Niland, and she is a travel trainer with the Independent Center of Northern Virginia. So Mindy, tell us, what is travel training?
Yeah. Hi. Thanks so much for having me on your show. So travel training is where we teach individuals with disabilities how to use the bus and metro system. We serve Montgomery County, Prince George's County, Northern Virginia area, and most of DC as well.
Oh, that is so great, because I know that's a big thing for independence is, are you able to travel? Are you able to get around? Right?
Yeah.
So how does that work? What does that look like?
So it works in a number of different ways. Mostly what we do is when we get started, we do an intake and we go over goals and objectives for travel training, because it can look different for some people. Some people really need more help, like being able to use technology to be able to go places. So we might go use Google Maps or use Apple Maps to be able to navigate how to go to the closest bus stop. Or some of the goals might be more of time management, being able to go to certain places. So we might need to focus more on making sure we leave it at that certain time to get on that bus, just to be able to make it to the stop on time. And that would be reflected when they get their job and they have to use the bus themselves. Or sometimes it's also kind of more of being able to navigate and work through the flexible time changes, such as maybe if there's a delay on the bus, okay, so what are we going to do to navigate that so I can be able to safely figure out how to get home or be able to go to the next stop if I miss my stop. So we are very individualized and client-centered based on what their goals are, and we work to tailor it to their needs.
So I'm assuming, do you travel with the clients on the buses?
Yes. Oh, yes, we do.
Got it.
Usually it's very different too. Sometimes I'll be training students for a month. Sometimes, it's ongoing. And usually the end goal is they're able to be able to go on the bus by themselves independently or semi-independently with supports from friends and family or other caregivers and natural supports.
Right. Which I know in DC especially is so important because everybody takes public transportation for the most part.
Yeah.
So what's the unique approach that you all take that other travel trainers might not take?
So I think what's really unique about us and our organization is that, I'm sorry, that's my dog.
That's okay.
The Independent Center, with us being the Center of Independence, we're a lot of our staff members have disabilities, including myself. I'm neurodivergent as well. And I think this helps us because we really can get the perspective of understanding those with disabilities, because we have disabilities ourselves, as well as the educational background too. My background is in recreational therapy and psychology, but then I have another person who has a sociology background degree. And I think with all of that in mind, we are able to understand the diverse needs for those with disabilities because we have empathy needed to understand their disabilities because of our own disabilities as well.
And it probably helps you connect with the clients more also, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So they trust you more, which I'm sure is extremely important.
Yes, definitely. And like we have so many people that work with different ages too as well. Like we have those like there's a couple of trainers that we have. They're more used to working like with senior populations versus like I mean I work with different ages too, but most of my background has been more of like with the teens and young adults on the spectrum on ages as well. So
And what age groups does the organization itself work with?
So we work with different ages. We start literally from ages 14 and up, and it could go all the way to like 65. I think that was the closest person I worked to was 65 years old.
Wow. Yeah, I guess they need
Yeah,
it too as they get older because maybe they can't drive anymore or things like that. Um,
exactly.
yeah, and I know it's so important because you know, it's independence, right? Like this is what you're giving these
Yeah.
individuals.
I mean, I think that's the one thing I really like learned so much about this job and why I found so empowering. Not everybody with disabilities can be able to drive. There's so many different reasons. Some have anxiety disorders that may prevent them from driving. Some of it is more physical disabilities. And with that in mind, we're helping them still have that tool of independence so they can be able to do things for themselves and be independent. Because not everybody, even with like Medicaid services and everything, can be able to have the supports they need to be able to go around to the grocery store or go to the movies or go any places they want to go. So, us being travel trainers, it's very empowering because we're able to help those be able to have that sense of independence to be able to do what they need for themselves.
Yeah.
So it's really very rewarding.
I'm sure. So then, like, what is the process? Like, if somebody's like, oh, wow, my child or I need this travel training, like, I have no clue how to do it. What's the process?
Yeah, so the process works a different way. Usually we have it on our website, the ECNV website. They can just email and put a referral in saying, hey, my child needs travel training. And usually then we're put on a list. And we have about 10 travel trainers. Usually the list is not really all that hard to go through. And then you're paired with a travel trainer. From there, then we do an intake evaluation where we go over your goals and objectives. And then we then get started on the number of sessions based on what the goals are.
Got it. So it could be, several or a few, just totally depends.
Yeah, like I said, there's some that may need like literally just one lesson because they may just need a refresh because maybe they didn't do Metro in a while. So maybe they just want to have that refresher to be able to go on the Metro again and you know how to use the Smart Trip card in the kiosk. But some may have never used Metro before. So we start with very baby steps. Like maybe we might just go to the Metro station and we might get a tour and I might show them then different lines of the Metro stops. And then we might then proceed with going on the bus to different places depending on what their interests are and what they want to do.
That is so awesome. I was just thinking about like the anxiety, like how many of our neurodiverse kids, even if they're not officially diagnosed with anxiety is there. Because what if I get lost? I don't know what to do.
Exactly.
And that like I've never done this before. I mean, I have it myself sometimes, like so I can imagine how just calming that is to like have somebody walk you through it and give you that when you said independence, the empowering these individuals to like, I can do this.
Yeah, like I mean that's been the most rewarding part about my job. Like I watch so many individuals, they've had the attitude of, oh my gosh, I don't think I could be able to go on the bus. I don't know what to do. I struggle to be able to go on the bus, to being able to have the tools needed to problem solve. And they could be like, okay, so maybe I missed my stop. So I'm going to get off at the next stop and get on the next bus again. And that has really also helped them translate to different areas of their lives as well, because like we're really helping them gain the confidence to be able to navigate and problem solve what they need to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see how that relates over because traveling around is like one of the biggest things, right? And I know,
Yeah.
I know from my kids, they have anxiety about going places that they don't know. And I can imagine if they had to figure out how to get there on their own as well, like how much harder that would be.
Yeah.
But then being able to like, hey, I did that, is so empowering.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So to look at like, do you help? I'm just thinking along the lines of how, relating it to IEPs and to in the schools about how this area is often neglected in the transition statements. Schools aren't very good about looking at independent traveling and training that. So are you
Yeah.
able to help with that?
We're working on that. I really would like to see more of that. Like we talk with a lot of transition coordinators and work to incorporate that in their school plan. Like for example, there's this one school in DC that is a school for individuals with disabilities, and they when they get out of the school system, and we do group travel training trips to, like, I think they went to the what am I thinking of, the metro station in DC. What's the one I'm blanking on the name right now, but
It's okay.
they go, but like we help them go there, and they work on looking for other job opportunities, and it really helps them with transitioning. Oh, another one we did too was we work with, I'm sure how like Maryland has it as well, Project Search, and we work with different students looking for jobs once they get out of school, because that really is like a huge concern that a lot of families, especially with those disabilities, and maybe they're in the school system until the age of 22, suddenly they're left wondering with what they're going to do next with the next chapter of their life after they've had like 22 years of school and structure. So we really are working to push that so that when they do age out of the school system, they can be able to have the tools needed to be able to navigate for themselves as well.
Right. Which I'm just thinking like most of the transition, the transition sections in IEPs that I see are like, will, get a job at a retail store, will, look at four-year colleges, will do this, will do that. And none of them, it's rare, I should say, I shouldn't say none of them. It's very rare that we have like, will learn the bus system on how to travel around the city.
Exactly. And there really should be more of it, because that's a huge part that goes into time management and going to the job as well. And I think a lot of the times too, it comes with the assumption that maybe there is like Medicaid for like travel, for like transportation from like friends and family, but I mean that's not always the case. So being able to use the bus system or other modes of transportation such as Uber or Lyft to be able to go to where they need to go for their job is equally as important, and helping them know that regardless of if they have reliable transportation, they can be able to get there on their own too.
Right.
So
Yeah, it's I can imagine it's hard to always rely on somebody else to get you places, and being able to have that independence and know what to do. Like as you said, if you miss your stop, like where you get off. Obviously, you can't get on the next bus at that same stop because it's going to be going the same way, but you have to know to like run across the street or wherever it is to find that and navigate.
definitely, for
Yeah.
sure.
And I'm assuming you teach them like apps on the phone and stuff.
Yes. So, like, one of my favorite apps I like using is Google Maps and Apple Maps, but we also will explore the Wamata website too. I mean, WMATA has a smart trip app. It's not as good as it needs to be, but it's getting there. My favorite personally is like Google Maps because it's really visual, especially when you're going on the bus. It can show how many stops are coming up next and when you need to get off. And
Oh,
it,
wow, I didn't know that.
yeah, it's a really cool feature and it allows you to be able to like have like you could even set timers for yourself of when you need to get off the bus as well. So it's really cool.
Oh, that is cool. So like, I mean, I use Google Maps for when I drive. I actually use it when I walk also sometimes. Because anybody that knows me, you spin me around 3 times and I get lost. So like I need maps for everything. But so you put in that you're going to take public transportation, it actually tells you like what buses and where to pick it up and stuff.
Yeah, so like for example, the other day I had a student and we were going to Montgomery Mall. So literally I just did Montgomery Mall and then I showed him how to get to the bus portion of the phone and it was able to show how he needed to take the ride on to like Rockville Metro and then it would take Rockville Metro over to Bethesda that way.
Yeah,
And it was able to show like when the bus stops were, the times, if there was any delays and everything like that. It's a really cool feature. So
that is
I really,
cool.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
really like Apple. I really like Google Maps for that purpose too.
Yeah, that's great. And I think, do they still have it? I don't know. For some reason, I remember there was an app, like the bus system itself had an app of like when the next bus is arriving. Like they have you can scan it right at the bus stops.
Yeah, you could still use the QR code at the bus stops too. You also have a number you can call as well. And if you go on the Ride On website, they also have the feature where you can be able to to be able to see if there's any delays in bus stops as well. All of which have been like really great tools because, sometimes there are delays and everything like that. So having that ability to be able to check is definitely important.
Yeah. And I'm just thinking like training them of like what to do. God, like I'm just thinking along the lines of the anxiety piece because going someplace new and not knowing where you're going and not knowing what you're doing, what if the bus breaks down? What if I miss my stop? What if it doesn't take this stop? What if, all those things by having even a couple of sessions with you, it sounds like you can like, okay, I have a plan in action. Like I know what to do in each situation.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's really what travel training is more of about. It's really helping them build the confidence so they can be able to learn how to ride the bus because it is scary to be able to like go on the bus and maybe you go with the wrong stop and you don't know what to do. So, we are here to really help problem solve and build the confidence so that when you are in those situations, you can be able to navigate and know what you need to do.
Right.
So,
So it's not only training how to get from A to B and from B back to A, but you're training like every single step of the way of what to do.
exactly. So it's
Yeah.
really great.
And it's all individualized depending on what the parent or the child or the young adult or whoever your client is wants as a goal.
Yeah. Most of the time, we really try to listen. Of course, we always take feedback from the family as well. But with us being consumer directed in our agency, we really, really, regardless of age, take focus on what the person needs, what the individual wants to do. Because I mean, often there's also times too as well where like like a parent may be like, "Hey, can you take my child to like the community college?" And the child really has no interest doing that. And I mean, as sure as you know, nobody wants to be forced doing what they want to do. So if that's not what they want to do, we try our best not to support that either. I mean, we try to find a middle ground. Like for example, maybe if they do need to go to the college, we may try to work on that part of the time, and then we may try to do like going to a mall a second part of the time too. So we try to find that ground, but most of our goals is working to be consumer directed and focus on what the individual would like to do too as well.
which makes sense because that's the person you're training. And
Yeah.
so, right. So what if, like, I heard you say agency, are you guys like a private agency, or are you funded through public funding?
Yeah, so what it's different with every travel agency, but with our funding, we get the WMATA funding, which is the Washington Metro Authority and Transportation System through what through Metro mostly. So they do like they fund everything from the bus in Prince George's County. They do the ride on in Montgomery County. They help with the Q bus in Fairfax County. They help with art. I think it's called art in Arlington County, as well as all the buses and metro system as well. And they're also part of the new Better Bus network that's supposed to be coming into effect next week too. So
Oh, great. So then it's not, because I know parents are like, well, I can't afford another therapy, another program. Is there a cost at all to, or does it depend on the situation?
no, that's the great thing about our program too, because we are funded by WMATA, our services are completely free. So we can provide the Smart Trip card, we can help them. They just need to be able to get to the bus station. Like let's say some of the places it's not always easy to get to the metro stop, so they may need a ride to the metro stop if they can't get it on their own, because maybe if there's like mobility um disabilities, it's not going to be feasible for them to like wheel 20 minutes to go to the bus stop. So
Right.
they may need to have like transportation to get to like Greenbelt Metro or College Park Metro or so. But yeah, our services are completely free to be able to go on the bus as well. So that's always been a really great feature about our services too.
Yeah, because families with neurodiverse kids, there are a lot of expenses for a lot of
Yes.
things, and it's like you got to prioritize. And while independence is 100% a priority, so is medical doctors and therapies and all that
Yes.
other stuff. So knowing that you can do it, that there's no cost to them, that's even better. That's like unbelievable. Um,
Yes.
so I know we're going to put all the links in your website. What's the best way if somebody's like, oh, I need this desperately. I have a 14-year-old that doesn't even know how to get to the end of the street. Like, I need to travel train. What's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Yeah, so I can also send a link to our website as well. The best way to do it is to be able to go on our website, and then they could do info@ecnv.com to be able to say, hey, I need travel training, or they can be able to contact my supervisor directly, Andrew Shaw, and he can get them on the waiting list to be able to get travel training service. Oh, another thing I should mention as well, we have two travel trainers that speak Spanish too. So
Oh, good to
if
know.
yeah, so those that speak a different language, they can be able to have those services as well. And we also have yeah, and then I think there's another that speaks Ethiopian as well too.
Oh, cool. So you said waiting list. How long is the waiting list to get services? Do you know generally?
The waiting list really doesn't take that long. Um right now I think it's backed up by like a couple of weeks because one of our other travel trainers is on maternity leave, but she's about to be coming back soon. But
Okay.
yeah, usually it's very, very easy for us to be able to fit a student in and be able to get them started as quickly as possible too.
Got it. Yeah, I hear waiting list and I'm like, uh-oh. But yeah, a couple weeks isn't bad. But it's just planning, like, we're going into summer now. So it's planning in advance. Like if you have a child that is going to be starting at the community college in the fall, now's the time to contact you to get this stuff started so that you can get that training.
Yes,
Um,
definitely. Because especially with a lot of students getting out of school, our schedules fill up very fast. So
I'm
the
sure.
so yeah, the sooner the better.
And I was going to say, August has probably got to be crazy busy because so many people
Yes.
are trying. So like get in earlier is better always. That's what I
Yes.
tell people. Yeah. So I know we're going to have your website and information in the show notes. Is there anything I forgot to ask? Like any information, tips you want to put out there for any listeners?
I guess the best tip I give those is just be very open-minded. Like maybe you don't think traveling is possible for you, but you don't really know until you try it yourself. And we're here to help you get that confidence, so you could do it.
I love that. And it's so funny. My kids and I had just recently watched Alice in Wonderland, the live versions, and
Oh,
the impossible thing. Like, you never know what you have to believe. I don't remember the phrase, but I know she always says, her father always said that he believes in 6 impossible things before
yes,
breakfast, right?
yes.
And that's it. Like, anything's possible. You just have to, try, So
Exactly.
yeah, this has been so awesome. Thank you so much, Mindy, for coming on the show and helping let our listeners know, like, hey, there's help out there for travel also.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
You've been listening to Stress Free IEP with your host, Frances Schefter. Remember, you do not need to do it all alone. You can reach Frances through schefterlaw.com, where prior episodes are also posted. Thank you for your positive reviews, comments, and sharing the show with others through YouTube, LinkedIn, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and more.